fuel pressure is going all the way up to, like, let's say 750,000 HP, and I'm not going past 40 kilometers, right? So let's see. I'm stepping all the way down on the gas pedal. You hear the vehicle is just not going right at all. I'm at 30 kilometers and I'm reaching as high as, let's say, 750,000 HP, which is like nothing. And once you start the vehicle up again, you get the hard start because it gotta prime itself. So I'm going after that low pressure pump, right? So let's take that low pressure pump out and see the condition, what's going on. Right, so I'm making an attempt to drive this vehicle, and you see, that's it. That's all I'm getting, and I'm getting a puff of black smoke. I'm not going no faster. I'm getting 60,000. No, I'm getting 60 kilometers. Yeah, so all I'm getting is 60 kilometers, and that's it. So this vehicle is definitely going into limp mode. Wow. Okay, so I'm trying to do this real quick because it's getting late and I got things to do. Okay, so let me see if I can explain what's going on right here, right? So, okay, we got these two fuses right here, 15 amp right here and 50 amp right here, and this is the relay for the fuel pump. As you can see right there, it's kind of hard because of the glare. All right, we got a fuel pump relay right here, and we got a fuel pump fuse, and we also got this 15 amp that sends power to this fuel pump, right, relay. So we're gonna just take this one out, and I'm just gonna hook up my equipment to it so we can, you know, check and see what's going on with the amperage on the fuel pump. And I mean, we don't really have to because I'm already going after the fuel pump, but I like to figure out and know what the pump is doing, you know, and what it's supposed to be doing. I will compare it to the new pump. Okay, so I got my apparatus hooked up, right? This is my fuse body. I got my amp clamp around my current loop, basically, and I'm going to set up my scope right here. I just want to see what's the amperage looking like and the speed of the pump. So we're going to do a fast capture. We're going to start the vehicle, right, and see exactly how much current this pump is using, right? Start up. So you hear the hard start as usual. It is pumping like around 30 psi. Okay. Alright, so roughly it's around, let's say, 9 amps. Alright, so we just want to get some captures. We're going to stop it. Okay. And when we stop this, we're gonna let me take it off. It's getting late, so I'm gonna take it off. You're gonna kind of hard to see. I want to get access to the fuel. All right, so you see that we are like 30 psi. So I'm gonna switch the key off, and it's dropping right off. So that's letting me know that this pump is not doing what it's supposed to. Right, which we already know. So let me, you know, take a look and see what's going on. Right, so we're gonna zoom out full. Okay, what is going on? All right, let's zoom out. And let's take a look and see what's going on with the, let's do a zoom window right here. So right now I'm using, let's say, close to 9 amps. Right, so I'm going to, let's pick from here to here. Okay, so I'm gonna pick my cursors. I'm gonna bring it right here. So we're gonna count Let's do it over. Okay, so we're gonna count 9 humps. So from here to here looks the same. So I'm gonna count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm gonna put my cursor right here. Right. So let's say average, what is that? 9.26 milliseconds, and my frequency is 107. Right, so what we can do next, we could go on a calculator, right, which is right here. Okay, we can multiply that 107, okay, by 60, and this pump is moving at 6,420 RPM. Or we could have also used the time. Okay, let's clear this. So let's say 60,000 divided by 9.267, and that's supposed to give me the 64 also. Yep, it's close. 6,474, which is, you know, average. Right, so you ask yourself what that means. That means the pump is basically moving really fast, right? But he's moving really fast, but is he doing work? You know, I don't think he is, right? Because let's check my amperage. So let's go here, and the height of here, the highest peak is, let's say he's probably not really moving and doing anything at all, right? He's just pumping, right? We got what, 1 amp, 1.6 amp. So we got, let's say 2 amp, right? So we got low amperage, we got high RPM, and we got low PSI. So basically this pump ain't doing nothing. He's just pumping. He's not, you know, moving anything, and that explains why the PSI is dropping off real fast, right? So I'm going to pull that pump and take a look and see what's going on. Okay, so yep, we gotta take this pump apart and see what's going on, right? Okay, so it definitely had someone in here before this pump was replaced, right? I was supposed to clean this off before I take it off, but it wasn't working. Oh man, so we've seen a lot of dirty diesel situation going on here, and right now you can tell someone was here. You see this, that means this was replaced before, right? So they definitely had issues with this diesel pump here. It's got a little tub right here to catch whatever's, you know, in this pump. Trying to get it out. But it's falling on the ground. Okay. So I just got the pump out. The filter is clean. What do we have here? And we have little sediments in here. You know, nothing to talk about. I mean, you still see little fragments of it, right? But the spring. Okay, so it has one spring. Okay, so let's see if we could get this pump out. And what is this? This is a ground, probably for static. Okay, so the filter is clean. Okay, check it out. It's Try not to dirty up the floor. Alright, the filter is clean. Should I be using gloves with this? Alright, so I got a new pump, okay, similar height. I said, my apologies for that noise in the background. Can't do nothing about it. Let's see if it plugs into this jack or not. Yes, it does. Alright, and let's see if we can assemble this pump.
I love it, 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 yeah, yeah, I love it, 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 yeah, yeah, yeah.
Alright, so with the low pressure pump installed, I'm seeing 25 more PSI than I had previously, right? So before I was getting like 32, now I'm getting 57, which is excellent, right? So I'm gonna go and switch off and I'm gonna listen to how the vehicle is cranking over. Before we was getting like a extended crank, and now, you know, it's starting much easier, you think? It's not sounding like it's struggling to start up like before, right? You know, also revving out real clean too. Alright, let's start it back up. Alright, sounding much better, man. I believe this part of the vehicle is fixed. So I'm also going to make a recommendation to the customer that he got to change the engine oil and the filter, right, and the fuel filter and stuff like that, right? And most likely we may have to go after these injectors, right? But let me just talk to the customer and hook up my tools and see what's good. Before we take this vehicle on a run, I'm gonna, as I said, check my PSI, right? I got my arm clamp hooked onto the fuel pump in the rear. So let's start the vehicle up and see exactly how much PSI that we are getting, and also too, you know, the current that's coming off this pump. Okay, so it starts up much better than before. Okay, so let's see exactly what's going on. Alright, so I'm going to stop this. I'm going to take the engine off because diesel is very loud. So, yeah. I said, I've been trying to, you know, work on my audio because the microphones that I've been purchasing has been giving me some problems, right? So we see that we're getting like 50 PSI on that. Right, it's dropped all the way back to 0 because whatever pressure is in the system will, you know, bleed off and go to the tank. Right, and let's see what's going on. As a matter of fact, let me show you my hookup. Right, so I got my scope hooked on to the fuel pump. Right, I got my amp clamp directly here. I could have got it from the front. Right now, I was trying to, you know, see if I'm getting the same thing here. That's from the fuse up front. And also compared to what I'm seeing in the rear, right? And basically it's the same thing. I'm seeing average like 5,000 RPM. All right, so let's do a pan. Let's come here. I'm gonna pick. Let's pick right here when it's settled out. Let's do a zoom into right here when the vehicle is settled down a little bit. So we're gonna check to see exactly how fast this pump is running. It looks much better. You're not seeing that drop off like you saw earlier. I'm trying to hurry this up because it's getting late, you dig, and I got places to go tomorrow. So let's use, let's say right here, right? So from this peak right here, we're gonna count 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, that doesn't look the same. Okay, let's come across some more. Let's look for something that stands out. So let's go, where can I go? If I go with this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You gotta look for one that's looking like, you know, pick one. And if it's a good pump, it will, you know, line up really good. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is the 9th one right here. Okay. So let's see how fast this pump is running at 90, which is, let's say 90 by 60. I'm expecting to see anything between 4 to 5,000 RPM. Let's see how the pump, right? 5,400. That's how fast this pump is running, compared to the older one was like close to 6,005 or something like that. And my amperage was, let's say I'm pulling at least, let's check on amperage and see how much it is. And my amperage is running at least, what's that, like 1 amp, 1.4, 1.5 amp, which isn't bad, right? I'm expecting to see anything around 1 to 2. I'm not asking much for this vehicle right now. It's a diesel, so let's say 1.5 amp the pump is using, and that's real good, right? The pump is doing what it's supposed to. I'm seeing 50 psi on this pump, and you see that my pressure bleed off and went back to the tank, right? And the vehicle starts up better than before. So yeah, I'm gonna definitely call this a fix for sure, right? So yep. So before it was getting a P1187 and a P1186. I was getting like 30 psi max when this car is running. So we got 25 psi increase, which is, I could live with that, right? So yeah, let's take it for a run. Okay, so yeah, it's getting late, so I'm trying to wrap this up, right? So you can see the actual is staying around top of the desired fuel pressure, right? I mean, give or take a few kilopascal, right? I do have my idle at, what's that, 55 psi. It's flickering because the injectors is using some of the diesel. And like I said, man, this vehicle is up and running again. I believe the customer have some other pending issues, but for now he came for this loss of power and stalling issue, and I believe that the pump was, you know, at fault, right? The low pressure pump, not the high pressure pump that, you know, guys tend to just run and blame the high pressure pump, not knowing it's the system itself needs to be properly diagnosed, right? So until then, next time, y'all take it easy, stay up, stay cool, stay sharp. Peace.